All right. So we are talking here about creating a Azure Databricks account. And here to create the workspace, we have these methods or these possible options to create this one. And these are the requirement where we should have Azure subscription, but it should not be a free trial subscription. So we can, opt for free trial subscription, and then we can upgrade it to pay as you go. Don't worry, it will not charge you anything. Means still it will remain the free, but if you create the resource, it will cost you. Simple. So it's not going to cost you hugely even. Let's say if you are using the resource for 1 hour, it is going to cost you for an hour only. Okay. So as you will just be paying as you go, and it's really very a competitive price. It's not going to be a heavy price just for small labs. Okay. All right. So these are the requirement where you should not have a spending limit, request quota increase in case if you need it. So all those things are there. And then we can simply create our Databricks workspace. Okay. So we'll have to go to Azure portal and create a resource. Under analytics, you have to choose Azure Databricks. Under Azure Databricks service, provide the value of Databricks workspace. Basically, like these are the properties we will have to provide, like workspace name, subscription, resource group, location, and pricing tier. These are the only parameter we have to provide. So subscription, as we understood in the scope, I think we already discussed that what is the subscription management group and all those things. So this is going to be your Azure subscription. Okay. And the resource group is like logical container where you are going to create your resource. Okay. So resource is basically Azure Databricks account. Okay. So we will specify this one here. And the location. So as we know that Microsoft is having, data centers around the world, and we can choose the location which is close to our data and ourselves. So we can choose any region like India or US, UK, whatever, wherever our data resides. So it can easily deal with the data. And the pricing tier, then we have different pricing tier we can go for. So we can go for standard, premium, or trial. So in your case, you will go with the trial because it will provide you 14 days free trial. Okay, then maybe you can upgrade it to standard. Okay, and then finally we will review and create this service. All right, so this is the simple process creating Azure Databricks account on the Azure. So here we are on Azure portal. To go to Azure portal, we have to go to portal.azure.com, and on this one we can start with this. So when we come to the home page, it should look like this, or you may be landing to dashboard. So maybe one of the page you would be viewing here. Simply there are several options to create the resource. Either you can go to search box here and type Databricks, and it will show you the Databricks here. Okay. Second option, you can go to this plus sign and create your own Databricks account. Okay, so you can search Databricks and it will filter it for us in marketplace. And you can select Azure services, not this one, I think. Yeah, Azure Databricks here, this one. You can choose this one. This is the second option we have. And the third option, that in the marketplace, in the create resource, I think you can go for analytics should be there. They keep changing the name. So sometimes integration, security, develop, computer should be here. Yeah. Under this category, you can filter it out and you can see Azure Databricks. So these are some of the method to create any resource. But to create any resource, you should have a resource group. So either to find the resource group, you can see we don't have any resource group created right now. That's why it is showing empty. Okay, resource group is just you can assume as a container inside the subscription. So you have Azure subscription. Under the Azure subscription, you need to create a container which will keep your resources. Okay. So let's create one resource group. We can give any name. Just click on plus create button, and you can type. Let's say this is going to be your Databricks. Resource group. So any name we can provide. We have freedom of doing that, and I'll just provide the name like this is Octo. It will not accept the space. October Databricks batch or something like that. Anything you can provide basically. And then you need to choose the location, physical location of this resource group. So let's say I would choose Central India, maybe. Yeah. So Central India, we have 3 data center in India point of view. So Central India, we have South India, I think. Yeah, South India. Then we have West India. Only 3 data centers we have. So I could go for either Central India, West India, or South India. So West India, I think, would be Gujarat or somewhere. So I think we can choose this one as well. All right. So then next, it will ask you, would you like to put any tag? Tag is just label to stick on. So it is not mandatory. You can go next. And finally, it will validate that whatever information we provided for this resource group, it will, show it here. So what I think I should put here, like octdb batch, and just to identify that this is the resource group, I'll go to previous and dash put RG resource group, or I can put it in front as well. It's not mandatory, just to identify that this is resource group. Okay, I'll say review and create directly from here. And validation passed, and click on create. So it has created a resource group. It's quick and easy, only the metadata stuff, because this is logical container. There is nothing in it right now. So if I click on this, I would, go into this resource group. Okay. So if I click on home, I will see this in the recent list. And if I remove it from here, for example, now I have first choice. I can go from here, or I can go from here and search for resource group, and I can view it here. So there are these 2, 3 methods by which I can go into a resource group. Now next is to create the resource inside the resource group. How we can create the resource inside of our resource group. So first we need to go into the resource group and click on create. This is the one method. You can, simply create anything inside of it. Second method is you can simply create a resource from here and choose the resource group while creation. So let's say you click on create a resource, and then you choose the resource here, and while you are creating, it will ask you. So let's say Databricks. So Azure Databricks, it will show Microsoft, provided by Microsoft services, and we'll click on this card, and it will show that what exactly you are creating, and we'll click on create. And here we can choose the resource group. Okay, so we'll go here and we'll pick our resource group. And if it is not there, you want to create a new resource group. Also, you can create a new resource group from here by just providing the name, and it will pick that one. Okay. So we are on creation of Azure Databricks workspace, and here you will see that we have instance detail we have to provide. So we provided our subscription. If we have multiple subscription, we can choose the subscription from here. Then inside the subscription, we need to choose the resource group. Then about the instance, whatever we are creating, let's say we are creating Databricks, virtual machine, anything we are creating, we need to provide the information about whatever we are creating, right? So here we are creating Databricks. So we need to provide Databricks workspace name. Okay. So I'll just provide the name, whatever you can keep, basically DB Databricks workspace. I'll say -2. Okay. So this is going to be the name of workspace. We can have multiple workspace on same account. Then in region, it will choose the region which we have selected for a resource group. The same region, it will automatically be picking it up. But if we wish, we can change it as well. Okay, so let's say if I want to change it to somewhere else, and the resource group will reside in West India, but I want it created in, let's say, Central India or somewhere. It is doable, but not recommended, because your resource group metadata will reside somewhere else, and your actual resource will reside somewhere else. So that is not a good scenario. So it is having more chances of failure. Then the pricing tier, you can choose premium, trial, 14 days premium. Okay, so you can get some free DBUs, Databricks units for making or just charging us. And this is the standard. So you can go with this Apache Spark secure with the Microsoft Entra ID. The premium will go with the role-based access control. Okay, so these are like different tiers. Okay, and we'll go with the standard one here. Okay, you, because in my case I'm going in the standard one. In your case, you will go with the trial one. So 14 days more than enough to try with this. I don't think it will allow me because I have already finished that one, but we can try. I mean, let's see. But I'm sure it is not going to give me the trial one. So maybe it will, stop somewhere, maybe throw error, or maybe it will convert to paid one. So I have already used it, I think. Uh, yeah. So let's go with this for at the moment. Maybe anyways, I will delete this and create another one. So manage the resource group name. Basically, it will create another resource group which will be managing the resources, or automatically be created the resources for this item. So for this workspace, it's going to create more resources. So I'll give some name to this one, like the above one we have. So let's say RG Oct Databricks Page, and this is going to be managed resource group. Okay, managed, for example. Let's say anything we can give. So this is going to create a managed resource group. Next, under networking, deploy Azure Databricks workspace with the secure cluster connectivity, no public IP. Yes, whatever default, we'll go with that. Deploy Azure Databricks workspace in your own virtual network. If we wish, then we will have to select the virtual network. We can go with that, but we'll just keep it no. Next, encryption. So encryption, anyways, these all are disabled for us. So we cannot pick anything because we are on the standard. Maybe on the premium, we will be able to use these options. Next. Security and compliance also disabled for us, so we won't be able to pick these thing here. And the current pricing tier doesn't support advanced security and compliance add-ons. So these are like for premium, account, which we can pick, and it will be enabled, and then we can use these advanced features. Click on next, and it will ask you if you wish to put any tags on that. So this is going to be tags here, and finally we'll click on review and create. Okay, so here it will validate that if we are able to, provide all the information which is validated, and it's not going to throw any error while deployment of this resource. Okay, so we are creating the workspace here. We'll click on create. And now deployment is underway. So it is deploying our Databricks workspace on Azure. It may take maybe few minutes. So it will show the deployment progress here. But if we click on the notification here, we'll see more detail. So meanwhile, what we can do is we can just open a new tab. So we can open multiple tabs of Azure, and one, the deployment is going on. Let's see, second one will open. And in second one, if we go to the resource groups, you'll see that it has created another resource group here. And first one we have already created. So second one is like managed resource group, where it's going to create the resources. So if I click on the first one, let's see. See, it has created a resource or Azure Databricks service in West India. And if I click back to resource groups and go to managed resource group, it is creating the supporting resources for Databricks workspace. So it has created a storage account. If you see, it is a storage account. This is the data lake account for us. Then it has created a network security group, which is going to manage the networking component of this. Then it has created a virtual network, and it has created a managed identity. Managed identity is like ID for connecting with the resources. Authentication purposes it's used. Meanwhile, let's go. Our deployment is succeeded. Okay, so we successfully created our Databricks workspace. Okay, deployment details, we can see it was okay. I can close the notification, and I can simply go to the resource from here as well. So we created the Databricks account on Azure, and if I go to home, for example, from here I can maybe from recent list I can go. Second option, I can go to resource groups, maybe from the search as well. Go to my resource group here and click on the workspace itself. And it will show me the status, like if it is active or disabled. I can go by the URL as well, and I can launch the workspace, and I can upgrade to premium one as well. So click on launch workspace.
Kamal, one quick question, okay?
Yes, please.
Can you go back to subscription and say that the hierarchy, like subscription is the one which we created first, and then
Okay, so Azure subscription, you're talking about the Azure hierarchy, right?
resource.
So
I just want to say one thing, okay? subscription is on the top level. Under
Right.
subscription, we have to create a resource group. Under
Correct.
resource group, we will have a workspace.
Yes.
Can I create multiple workspaces under resource, one resource group?
Yes, you can create. Should
Okay,
not be.
so okay, one resource group will be there under subscription.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we have created workspace. Under
Mm-hmm.
workspace, we created a resource called Databricks. Is that right?
No, no, it's little bit different. So let me explain you. Yes, I clarify your doubts. Let me just give me a moment. I'll open a blank space. So let's understand the hierarchy here in Azure, how it is being managed. So let me find appropriate image so I can show you. Okay, so basically, I think it's not too blur, right? I'm not. Okay, no problem. So basically, when we talk about the Azure account, our account is organized in this way. So if we see that how our account is organized, we have basically above that a root management group. Root management group. So this symbol denotes management group. This symbol, and every one of us in our account is having the root management group. Under the root management group, basically this root management group lies under our what you call tenant, or you can call it account as well. So when we create Azure account using our email address, that is called Azure tenant or account. For that tenant, we have, when we create this, it automatically creates a root management group for us. Okay, so management group is also a container. So assume subscription also a container, management group container, resource group container. So these everything is like container hierarchy. So here we have root management group. We may have another management group created under this. So that is totally possible. We can have, multiple level of, management group. So in this case,
So, so you are saying one management group. So any Azure, like okay,
Mhm.
when we go for the enrollment of Azure, right? So
Right.
we will have one management group. Under one
Mm.
management group, we will have multiple subscriptions. We can
Yes,
create.
even yes, yes.
Okay,
So because we sign up with the trial one, so we have this key denotes the subscription. So we have a subscription called trial subscription. Okay, so this subscription is there. We may have another subscription. Let's say if we have, we want paid subscription, so we can create one more subscription. So it's totally fine. We can create multiple like this.
got it.
Okay. And then also, just for your understanding, since you we are on the this page, that under management group, let's say this represent a management group, something like this. Under we can have another management group created. This is totally possible, and that can go up to 7 level, including the root management group. So you can have the possible scenario where you can keep creating the management group under the root management group. But root management is going to be one only. You can have up to 6 level underneath this one, the management groups. So after that, under these, you can have subscriptions. So subscription can be under directly under the management group. It can be under another management group. So subscription two, for example, it can be another level or up to 6 level, 6 levels we can create and there. And under the subscription only and only we can have resource group, not under the management group. So resource group, this symbol denotes this. And this resource group can be created under the subscription. So there should be one subscription to support this resource group. Okay. Under the resource group only and only the under the resource group, we can create any resource. So you are saying like workspace, right?
Under resource group, we can create multiple resources.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Azure Databricks or Databricks basically is a resource for Azure. Means it's just associated with the resource group. That's it. So to manage the Databricks, we can go to the management of that console and then we manage it. But for Azure, it is like storage account, virtual machine. Same way, it is the same resource. That's it. Okay, and I'll show you here. Just give me a moment. So if I go to my home and if I type here tenant properties. So this is my core account, basically. This is my account, So this is my Azure account I'm going into. And when I go to management group, so I can see this symbol, management group, and you can see under my tenant root group, this is like key, everything falls into this. And above that is the tenant itself, is tenant account where we have gone to. So a tenant, under the tenant account, we have one root management group. Under the root management group, we may have one subscription. In your case, you will see the trial subscription. I have one paid subscription. So this subscription, it is showing here. But if let's say I want to create another subscription, I can simply create another subscription here. So it will create. So if I click on add subscription, I can add another subscription here, and that will be, easily doable. Or I can create a new subscription, for example, under the management group ID. I can create a new subscription as well. So I have created, another management group. Underneath this management group, I have created one management group called sales department, for example. Under that, I have another level of management group. So I think I should be able to expand it. So here you can see I have created another level. So this is the level 1, this is level 2, this is level 3, and underneath I can create maybe a child group, or I can create a subscription underneath. So wherever I want, I can have another level of management group or subscription directly. Under the subscription, then we'll talk about the resource group. So when I click on the subscription, for example, so now I'm talking about this subscription. And why we have the subscription. Basically, subscription is basically like container where it can calculate my cost. Okay, so I can see the cost by resource. So let's say if I have one subscription, it will keep all the associated cost here on one place. And let's say if I have subscription 2 as well, it will have different, billing cycle. It is having a different credit card we may use. So subscription is like isolation of, payment or billing stuff. So that's what the use of subscription in Azure. So you can separate your billing. And why it is important? Maybe let's say you are, working in some department which is dealing with the data, and you have associated cost with your, let's say your developers are working or analysts are working. In that case, you have different cost, and maybe you have a software development department. So their billing is different. Their, location of resources different. The developers are residing maybe on different locations. So they may have different billing cycle and no payment, etc. So this is how we can separate it. So that's the logic here. Okay, now we talk about the resource group. So resource group falls under one subscription. So when I go to, let's say, resource groups here, it will show me that this resource group belongs to that subscription. And this is the physical location of this resource group. So resource group is like metadata container. So if I go to this resource group, inside the resource group, this is just a resource like virtual machine or anything it could be. So here we have created a Databricks resource. For Azure, it is just a resource. So if we see the relation between these three, so Databricks is like, third party resource we can say, which they have named it Azure Databricks, because when Databricks is working with the AWS, it will identify itself as a AWS resource. Okay, so this is how the collaboration between this all happening with the Azure and GCP and AWS. So here it is a resource. Like if it would be a virtual machine, then it would act as a resource in Azure as a virtual machine, and we can log in into virtual machine and do our stuff. Same way, we can go into the Databricks account and we can do whatever for that resource, and it doesn't, interfere with the Azure part. Azure part is just providing the resource. It's just a provider, nothing else. Okay. All right, so I think we covered a lot of thing here about this one. Let me see. Okay, so here when we launch the workspace, basically we are going into the Databricks from here. So it's like gateway. It's just a resource, and we are going when we launch the workspace. Yeah, we already launched, I think, and I'll again do this. Okay, and it will ask you for authentication. And now it is signing in into the Databricks. So basically this URL is totally changed to Databricks. Okay, so we are out of basically Azure, console or, workspace, and we are into the Databricks now. So if you see here in the URL, azuredatabricks.net, and this is like identification of my account association with this. Okay, and yeah, so this URL represent that I am associated with this Azure, and this is the URL. So this is like the workspace for the Databricks, and now we are working in the Databricks. You can see the logo is changed here, and up to here it was like Azure. We were working on Azure, but here we are working on the Databricks. So yeah, this is the Databricks workspace here, and we are out of this. So these resources now, the question comes like, what is inside here? So these are like component related to Databricks. So it requires a storage account, so where it will keep the data, it will fetch the data and bring in and put it here. So that's what this Azure storage account is being used. So if you see the storage account, it automatically created and provided some numbers in the name, so it can identify. And it has created, containers in it. So containers are like folders where it is going to keep the data related to Azure Databricks. Okay. So if I think I click on any container, it won't allow me to open. Yeah. So it fails. Why? Because these permissions of this container is being managed by Databricks Unity catalog. So it is having its own governing system. So it will not allow Azure user to go into and tamper with the data or change anything, because then Databricks will like, get corrupt or something, because it won't be able to find the, system related data or something. So that's why it doesn't allow. So manage from the Azure. It will automatically be managing from itself. Okay, so like these are the services in storage account, and storage account is being managed by Databricks. So these are like supporting service, you can assume. And again, if you go to like virtual network and these things are being managed for Databricks. So you can see the address space, like this one, connected devices, if you have any, even subnets, you can see. So all networking components related to Databricks are being managed here. So we don't have to basically do anything here on the network component or any other component. We don't have to, work on this. So like this is the security group, and this will take care of the security part. So maybe I think we can go and view this, but we should not be able to change it because the permissions are being managed by Databricks. So like Databricks control plane, SSH port is open. So you can go to Databricks control plane by using SSH connectivity through this IP, the worker proxy and worker to worker. So these are like networking information related to Databricks, and these are like inbound rule related to Databricks. Again, on outbound security rules, you have these rules created, which are like default rules. No specific outbound rule is created here. Okay, and then maybe network interface or subnets with which these rules are associated. So these are the subnet with which these rules are associated. So this is like internal working of Azure Databricks and the components. Okay. All right. So I think we have covered a lot many things here about the Azure and Databricks. And now we'll talk about, let's see. So we have covered creation of the account. This we have covered using this one. Okay. Now we'll talk about, let's say, one concept which I want to talk maybe or take it. Yeah, calculator. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight this. So there is a very nice tool from Azure which is called pricing calculator. Okay, so this is really very helpful. You can go to any resource type here. You can pick like analytics or anything you can pick, and you can create a pricing for this. So let me just delete this Databricks I already created, but I'll show from the beginning. So in this pricing calculator, this is like without login in, you can go to azure.microsoft.com and then pricing, I think. So this link is, publicly available. Without login, you can go here and see the pricing of, any resource. So I think it should fall under, yeah. So Databricks will fall under analytics, and these are like analytical tools available in Azure. So this many tools available in Azure, having different pricing. So if we click on Azure Databricks, it will open estimate for this one. I think it should be loading or loaded. Yes, loaded. So when I scroll down, it will aid my estimate. So I can see only one resource selected, Azure Databricks. And I can see here all purpose, this, this is basically coming from this, drop downs. So if I go and I say, okay, I created a resource in India, for example, issued India. I created Invest India, and I am going to use with the all purpose compute power. I'm going to use the standard tier, and I will use for general purpose and any instance. So instance I can pick from here, that I will be using 4 virtual CPUs, 16 GB of RAM, 100 GB temporary storage. It's going to be 0.75 Databricks unit. Means it's going to cost me $0.246 per hour. Okay. So if I'm going to use this, resource, it's going to cost me this much per hour. Okay. And if monthly estimate, if I see, it's going to be costing me $400 around. And with this, so I will be using, let's say, one virtual machine. It's going to cost me for 730 hours. So let's say if I am going to practice it for, let's say, 2 hours a day. So let's say if I'm going to practice it for 30 days, so it's going to be 60 hours. Okay. So now you see the pricing changing here. So let's say if I, practice for 60 hours, or maybe let's say 1 hour basis, then it's going to cost me something like this. I think it's not updating, looks like. One. Yeah. Okay. So this is going to have some fixed cost, looks like. Yeah, it should reflect different pricing. This is what I believe. But upfront cost is zero. But yeah, maybe minimum is 200 hours or $200 or something. But yeah, it's going to cost me in this way. Okay. Okay, and then I can reserve it. This is under the pay as you go plan, but in your case, it's going to be free only. But if I reserve it, let's say for 1 year or 3 years, something, then I'm going to have a huge discount on this. Okay, this is how the pricing calculator works. And next is I just want to talk about Azure Databricks pricing here. So, component perspective, it's going to have, I think here also we can maybe get some pricing information. Yeah. I'll start from top so you will not get confused. So we are exploring the pricing here for standard Central India. It's going to be United States dollar per hour basis. So these are the feature when we talk about standard tier pricing. For all purpose compute, we are going to have these features available. For job compute and for job light compute, these are the features which are going to be available. So this like compute power with different categories we can use. And here for premium tier features, so these are like features related to premium tier with the job compute, all purpose compute, and job light compute. And with the delta live tables, these are the feature with the advanced level. And here pay as you go, and here you will see like standard tier pricing. For all purpose compute, it's going to be almost $0.4 or dbu per hour. Okay, or dbu hour basically. So $0.4 is going to cost basically. Okay, if we are going with the premium tier, then it's going to cost 0.55, so little bit higher end, it's going to be. So different pricing for different uses. Okay, but don't worry, practicing with the practicing, I think it's not going to cost you anything because you have 14 days trial. You should create your account maybe with the trial one. But yes, in Azure, you should have pay as you go, upgrade. So pay as you go, you will have to do it on Azure, and then only it should be allowing you to create your free trial for Databricks. Okay. All right, so we have covered this also. Great. Now let's see. I just want to talk about data lake. Okay, so one concept in Azure Databricks is
One
Azure Data Lakehouse. Yes.
one
Yes.
question. Come on. So
Yes.
as a developer, right? So
Mhm.
are we going to set up the way like what you mentioned, right? A subscription, resource group, and workspace, then resource, right? The data bricks is the last part. So are we going to build this entire process? Why I'm saying right is as a
Mhm.
informatica developer, I'm working on a informatica, right? As a
Mhm.
developer, so I don't
Mhm.
do all the setup on the server level configurations and everything. So
Mhm.
are you saying the same thing, like the this is all about the configuration setup, and
No.
later the developer will be working on it, or developer has to do this entire process?
No. Developer has not to do this entire process because your Azure admin will do this.
Right. So you are saying these are the steps we need to build to practice
Yeah, I mean, just to practice from your end. Yeah.
practice purpose. Like you are building everything like from the scratch,
Right. Right.
everything your account and subscription, resource group, and then workspace, and then resource. So what we will be doing, we will be working, for example, if I am working on Databricks, I'll just get my resource group name and workspace name.
Right.
The
So let's say, for example, if you are working as a Databricks consultant, or the person who is dealing with the Databricks, you
Mhm.
will be provided this URL from your Azure administrator. Simple.
Okay, that's great, right?
Yeah.
So okay, got it. I
So,
understand. Yeah, thank you.
so
Yeah.
your Azure administrator will do is, you will means your company will say, okay, we have a workspace, please provide so and so guy. So what he will do, he will go here, he'll launch this workspace, he will find this URL, he will just give you this URL. Uh, so this is the URL, and he will say, okay, please your Azure account, login. That's it.
That's great. Okay, I understand. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but in I mean, let's say if you get into a job where someone is, let's say if you have to deal with the Azure a little bit, not in entirety, like create setting up everything, but at least you should understand how it is working with the Azure. Like what is the resource group, like basic understanding, not detailed one, like basic understanding. You have like two resource groups created for this one is if you on subscription level, if you don't understand anything, it's fine. But on the resource group level, at least you understand that, okay, when you are dealing with the Azure administrator, he is going to talk about your what to do with this, your Databricks account, or here we have this one, and here like you have this network security related stuff and storage account. So this is just for the information. You are not going to touch anything on this. You are going to work on this workspace only. But just to practice this one, how you can set up, you have to have a resource group. You have to have a resource created inside the resource group. That's it. Once you create, you will fall into this, workspace, and from here you will be working.
Got it. Like you are saying, the person should know about like how exactly the subscription, how the resource group got, like on what resource group you are working.
Yes.
So that is how the
Basically,
person should
yes.
know about it. But it's not like you are
Yes.
not going to create all these steps. Okay,
Yes.
that's
Exactly. Exactly.
okay.
So
Yeah,
let's say if I am a system administrator, I should know that how to log in into virtual machine. That's more than enough for me. I should not know that, okay, how to create a virtual machine or anything, but at least let's say I'm a Linux administrator. So I should know that how to operate with the Linux virtual machine. That's more than enough for me. But just for basic understanding, because the cloud is like part of everyone's life nowadays. So basic understanding is good to have. Okay. So that's what the objective. And when you are setting up your own, here, let's say you are practicing on the Databricks, then you have to have basic understanding to create this. So at least I would request every one of you to create this one. As we have seen today, it's easy to create. It's not difficult one. You just need to create one resource group. Whatever name you, maybe you can put some name here, and you can start. You choose closest to your area, because you will be practicing on that, and create a Databricks account. And if it is, if let's say having any problem, it's easy to delete as well. So let's say if I want to delete, let's say for example, I have created this. So it is not going to cost, or it's not going to, let's say, a month I have to keep. I can keep deleting and creating every day. Okay, that is also fine, means totally doable. So let's say, but if you are getting a free account, don't delete it, because anyway it's not going to cost you. But in my case, let's say if I just want to delete this, I close the workspace. I'll simply go to my resource group. So first resource group, this one, and this is the second resource group. I'll just go to resource group, and I will say, I just want to delete my resource group itself. So it will delete whatever inside of this resource group as well. Okay. So let's say if I delete this, I select the resource group name and I hit delete. So it's deleting the entire resource group. Let's say if it fails or pass, because sometime it will fail. So it will ask you to delete the dependencies. So it's really easy to create and easy to delete on the Azure. And one thing to keep in mind that let's say if we are creating a resource and we are not having a setting to shut it down automatically, then it is going to cost you. So that will also I show you, because you will be, at least to practice, you will be managing, because Azure Databricks is free. But Azure resources will cost you. Like, for example, if you are creating a virtual, virtual machine to run your compute power, so that will be costing you. Okay, and that will not be a huge cost, but that will be certainly a little bit of cost here. I think I can maybe go to pricing, and if I delete this estimate, uh, if I go to compute virtual machine. Yeah, edit. And here I can see, let's say for Central India or West India, WEST, West, where is India? Israel, India. So let's say West India. If it is going to be Linux based standard with maybe 16 GB minimum, right? So where is 16 GB? Almost uh, 2 core, 4 core, it was 8 GB. Yeah, this one. Okay. So it's going to cost me zero point 0.4, means $0.50 an hour almost. So if I keep running this without use, it's going to cost me. Okay. So that I have to be careful. So when I finish my lab, I should be, removing these resources which I'm not using. But in your case, you can keep it. I mean, if you turn it off, it will not cost you. Okay. So when I turn off, because it will be creating a compute power when you launch your workspace and will be using. Tomorrow we'll see, look into it, how it works. You shut down, it will not cost, it will cost you zero. But if you don't shut down, it will cost you some amount of money. Okay, it may take little while to delete this, but if it is failing, then I will show you another way to delete this. Just give me a moment here. Yeah, deleted, success. So let's go to resource group. Now you see your resource is deleted. Okay, means your Databricks workspace is deleted. Now you cannot log in to your Databricks. I think what was the link? I removed it, but if I would try now, it's gone. It's not there. Okay, so it's gone. Now if I go to my second resource group, where is? Oh, okay, that's great. So what it did basically, it removed both the resource groups. I don't have, I deleted one resource group, but the second resource group was depending on the first one. So it deleted both the resource group. No resource group to display. Means I don't have any resource group. So I have no resource and then resource group. And I can see it from going here and typing all resources. So basically, if I go here, I can see I have no resource inside. So in this situation where I have no resource and resource group, the Azure account is not costing me anything. If I keep it for 1 year also, it will cost me zero, because this is just empty account, nothing having in it. So I'm not using any resource. I'm not using any resource group, anything. So Azure will not charge me anything for this. Okay. So that's just explanation of Azure part. I think we have understood lot many things about Azure, and this is how you can save your cost. So at the end, you have to make sure that your virtual machine should not be running, and the settings when you are using for lab, you use the virtual machine, and it will automatically be, we can set it up, maybe turn off after 10 minutes or something. So it will automatically be turning it off. and it will not be costing us, and if in the storage account, if there is nothing, means let's say 1 or 2 files or something, it is going to cost you negligible, maybe $1 a year or something, it's very minimal cost. Okay. All right, so I think we have discussed many things here, and tomorrow we will discuss about the lake house, means the storage part of the Databricks, and then we'll talk about the creation of notebook and all those things. So, all right, okay, thank you everyone.